let me tell you something. Look it, man. I've been an Atlanta fan for 45 years.
Late night vibes, we're turning up the heat. T Will on the mic, can't accept defeat. My ATL sports show, he's running the game. Atlanta Falcons fly high, you know the name. In the heart of the A, where the pride runs deep. From the Braves to the Falcons, he's keeping it real, no sleep. He's got the scoop, every player, every play. Bringing the thunder every single day. He will, shining bright on the airwaves, bringing sports tonight. Atlanta heart, with a soul so free. My ATL Sports Show, it's the place to be.
Welcome, ATL Falcons sports fans. And yep, you guessed it. This was a disappointing night for our beloved Atlanta Falcons. Things just did not work out the way we wanted them to out in San Francisco. And look, it's, sometimes weird things happen out there. I wanted us to win, but I just had this nagging feeling that this could happen. Falcons lose to the 49ers 20-10. In a game of what ifs and missed opportunities. And hey, we're here tonight to talk about it and, exercise a little of those, residual bad feelings before you go into work tomorrow. So, hey, you are here with your host, T. Will, for my ATL Sports One, and we are talking Falcons 49ers post game tonight again. 49ers win it 20-10, which is kind of misleading because it was a close game really up to the fourth quarter, and we just could not get out of our own way. There were opportunities to kick field goals and make this game a lot closer, and for whatever reason, we just could not deliver. There are a couple of points in the game, which we'll get into as we get into it later on, but just a bunch of missed opportunities. We are 3-3. And I'm not discouraged. This is a young team. It's a long season. And, right now, one of our deficiencies is we don't come out with the same intensity on the road, at least from my opinion, as we do at home. Oh boy, excuse me, guys. I'm so sorry. But yeah, we didn't come out with the same intensity. And it showed. 49ers came out, and their goal was to do one thing, which I knew it would be, and that was to stop Bijan. And they did that. They held Bijan to 92 all-purpose yards tonight. I believe he had 42 rushing and 50 receiving, and it was pretty bad. So, yeah, it was bad. That's all I can say. Falcons went on the road to Santa Clara looking to extend their win streak, but ran into a well-prepared 49ers team. And look, they control both sides of the line of scrimmage. There were a few flashes from Michael Penix, but all in all, the Falcons struggled to sustain drives. The 49ers leaned on Christian McCaffrey, and let me tell you something. The 49ers did to us what we did to Buffalo last week. They killed us with Christian McCaffrey. He had 129 rushing yards, and they were able to not kill the clock, but I think they held the ball for like 32 minutes. So they won the time of possession battle. I believe they got 3 sacks. We got 1. And they just held on. And they beat us. And quite candidly, it looked like we got outcoached. Quite candidly, if we're just looking at this thing for what it is, it looked like we got outcoached. So, unfortunately, when you have young coaches, this happens. And look, defense played well. Not going to take anything away from them. There was one thing I disagreed with, and it's on that third down call. I wouldn't have dropped into a, 3-rush coverage. I'd have sent everybody I had. I'd have made him make a decision, and that would have been that. You can live with that. What's hard to live with is you rushing nobody and him just picking you apart. Anyway, but whatever. Total yards, Falcons had 303. 49ers had 370. So they broke our consecutive streak of holding teams under 300. Falcons had about 241 passing yards. 49ers had 171. Oh, boy. Excuse me. Here's the stat that's going to hurt. Falcons had 62 rushing yards. Say that again. Falcons had 62 rushing yards. Ouch. Total for the night. Okay? They shut us down. 49ers had 100 and says 199. I think it was more like 174. So apologies for that. Falcons had 4.9 yards per play. 49ers had 5.8. Falcons were 4 of 11 on third down. 49ers were 6 of 13. I think the turnover battle was even because the Falcons did get an interception. So I think it was 1-1. We allowed 3 sacks. They allowed 1. Again, time of possession, they had held the ball for 32 minutes and 2 seconds. We held it for 27 minutes and 58 seconds. And look, it was close right up to that fourth quarter. And that's when they separated themselves from us. And if it's me, when the Falcons have that ball, and it's a 51-yard field goal, I go for it. I go for it there. There were several turning points and several mistakes that were made. That was one of them. I would have kicked the field goal there. Now, maybe Raheem didn't believe in his kicker, and that's nothing he said. That's just a conclusion that I'm drawing from the fact that we can kick the ball. Okay, you're down at that point. I think it's 13-10. If you make the kick there, the game's tied, right? If you make the kick there, the game's tied. If you don't get that penalty in the first half and you kick the field goal, you may even be ahead there. So in a tight game, you cannot afford to have those lapses. You just can't, and they just outplayed us. Penix played okay, but him being a rookie showed in this game. But again, there's enough blame to go around. Third down play, if you hold them, it's a field goal. Jeff Ulbrich decides to rush 3 and sit back and play coverage, and that was the wrong decision for Mac Jones, because he threw an in cut to somebody I can't remember. And that was pretty much it. At that point, they scored the touchdown, and the Falcons were kind of, out of it at that point. I think it was 2 minutes or under 2 minutes at that point. But, we just made the wrong decisions and the wrong calls tonight, right? Again, this game was close. So the defense played well. I'm not going to attack them. The offense was just stymied. And I think what hurts most about this is the fact that last week we had a very good game against Buffalo in prime time. And everybody's singing Falcons, 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 Falcons. And then we come in tonight and we kind of lay an egg. And so you have to be consistent if you want to gain respect in the NFL. And we haven't been consistent, right? So to those of you who get mad that are like, oh, they don't give us any respect. Well, respect is earned. Respect is earned. And let's be honest, we didn't play well tonight. We did not play well. We did not coach well. We did not do that. This was a very beleaguered, very depleted, very injury worn San Francisco 49ers team. And they came out and played like the healthy ones. They shut us down. That's not good. So, um, look at Robert Saleh is a great defensive coordinator. Great defensive coordinator. Shan is a great offensive coordinator. And tonight we got outcoached. Bottom line, tonight we got. It didn't help that we lost Diablo because and here's where you can see the difference, right? The linebacker that replaced Fred Warner was pretty good tonight. We had Bertrand. And I don't know what Bertrand's PFF is going to be for tonight, but I would imagine it wouldn't be great. There were times where he just looked lost. In my humble opinion, Bertrand did not have a good game. Bertrand did not have a good game at all. And so that's the difference when you lose a player of that ilk. And you know, oh yeah, and Kittle was back tonight. And Kittle killed us. You know, he wasn't great in the passing game, but he is a very good blocker, very savvy blocker, and he killed us in the run game tonight. He was very essential in getting the run game started for the 49ers. So, hey, man, great job by Kittle. Unfortunately, at our expense. Don't like that. Michael Penix Jr. really couldn't get it going on that last drive, and I think he may have injured. I hope it's not severe, but it looked like he injured his leg. Looked like he couldn't get anything on the ball. Those last couple of throws just it looked like, well, he didn't have a lot of time, but it didn't look like he got a lot on that ball. So I hope he's not injured, but he looked like he may have been. Bijan had 92 all-purpose yards. Okay, Drake had under 100 receiving. Darnell Mooney had under 100 receiving. Kyle Pitts had under 100 receiving. So after looking at this game, I am confident when I say we need another receiver. Just bottom line. We need another receiver. You know, we need another receiver. We need another burner. We need somebody that can get open. We need somebody that's savvy. You know, Mooney is kind of feeling his way along, but you know, again, I don't get the feeling from Mooney that I did last year. Like, you know, and again, he played better this game. You know, I'm not attacking Mooney. I like Mooney. He played better this game, but he still doesn't seem to be Mooney, and maybe that's not fair. You know, maybe he's got to ramp himself up. You know, and maybe it comes in stages, but I still am under the opinion that we need a receiver, and we may need a linebacker, contingent upon how long Diablo is out, because I'm just not impressed at all with JD Bertrand. I am not impressed at all. When I say I am not impressed at all. In the least bit am I impressed with JD Bertrand. Just bad. And if you guys are dropping comments, I can't see any. So just throwing that out there. We only ran the ball for 62 yards. Like, that in and of itself tells you you're probably not going to win that game. If you only rush the ball for 62 yards, right, you're probably not going to win that game. And you know what? We hung in there until the fourth quarter. Like, looking at the stats, we probably should have lost this game by 3-4 touchdowns if you're looking at the stats. But we hung in there. We did hang in there. But, you know, running the ball for only 62 yards, not good. Not good, not good, not good. Line allowed 3 sacks. You know, Penix faced a lot of pressure. And look, he did show poise, but just a bad look. Conservative late play calling. Look, I would have kicked the field goal. If you kick 2 field goals, it's 20-16. Okay, it's 20-16, and that's a whole different ball game at the end there. And look, in some instances, you got to take all the points you can get, right? So I disagree with Raheem going for it at that point. I'm talking to the television when he decides to go for it. I'm like, kick the field goal, Raheem. But maybe he did not believe in his kicker. Again, that's nothing he said, but it just feels like he didn't believe in his kicker. And I could be wrong, and Lord forgive me if I am. But it just feels like he did not believe in his kicker there. And again, if you guys are leaving comments, I am not receiving them. So I'm going to apologize if that is the case. If you're not, hey, you're well within your rights to not leave comments, okay? No pressure there. But if you are, I'm just letting you know I cannot see them. And, StreamYard is probably StreamYarding tonight. There's no telling what's going on. Heaven help us. But anyway, let's keep it pushing. Defense tonight contained the 49ers passing game, and they did, but not McCaffrey. They allowed 174 rushing yards. McCaffrey got some passing yards as well. He probably got over, I know he got over 200 yards from scrimmage. Only got 1 sack and missed a lot on third down stops. So, not a great effort by our defense. Certainly not a bad one. I mean, look, even with all of that, we held them to 20 points. And that last touchdown was basically after the offense converted on 4th down. And they were really close in Falcon territory anyway. So, again, even though we gave up 20 points, good effort. Not a great one, but a good effort by the defense. But we just, for whatever reason, could not get it done tonight. Looks like Kyle out-schemed us on offense, and Saleh definitely out-schemed us on defense. There's no doubt about that, 100%. I don't want to call it a bad effort by the defense, but just the offense just was not great. Again, players of the game, Bijan had 92 all-purpose yards and 1 TD, and he's the best we got for the game, and he's typically the best we got for any game. So, Caden Ellis had 1 interception. I believe he had 4 tackles. Could be wrong there. Parker Romo had 1 field goal, 1 extra point. I mean, it was slim pickings as far as players of the game for the Falcons, which, again, is why we lost. Let's talk about some things that the Falcons did well. So the Falcons did stay competitive late in the 4th quarter. Penix did do his best to protect the football. I'm not going to say London was dominant. London came out and did the best that he could, but London was not dominant. The defense did force 1 interception. Okay. The defense did force 1 interception. So those are some things that we did well. Some things that left a lot to be desired. I know you guys are thinking that, so I'm going to go ahead and put that out there. We failed to establish the run. That is a big one. We could not run that ball to save our lives. Poor 3rd down and 4th down execution. I agree with that. Some of the look at on 4th down, just go ahead and run the ball from the line. If you want to run the pistol, that's fine. But 3rd and 4th down, man, 3rd and 1, let's go ahead and run that from behind the line. Let's not do this pistol stuff because it's 50-50 with that, and a lot of times it doesn't work. And unless you're putting something else in their mind, like a running back throwing the ball or something like that, you can't be so predictable on 3rd down. You gotta change that up. We definitely had protection issues on key drives. On that last drive, we could not stop them. That our offensive line looked bad. Now, again, you could say, okay, we were one-dimensional. They knew we were going to pass. But guess what? Sometimes they know you're going to pass. You got to be able to protect. You have to be able to protect. And we looked bad on that last series. I'm not going to lie. That last series, the last time we had the ball, we looked bad, right? And Penix may have been hurt. I'm not sure. Last but not least, we had the conservative play calling, and it really, really, really hurt us. So that was pretty bad. That was pretty bad. There's nothing else I can say about that. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Turning points in the game. Really wanted to get into this. So, third quarter, Falcons down 13-10, 3rd-and-1 midfield. We don't get it. We go forward on 4th down. We don't get it. 49ers follow with the TD drive by McCaffrey. And I would have kicked the field goal there. If it's me, I would have kicked the field goal there. Another turning point. When Diablo left, it just went downhill because Diablo was your neutralizer for Kittle. And I feel like if Diablo is in that game, it's a totally different game. JD Bertrand looked lost. JD Bertrand looked like a third stringer out there. I'm not going to lie. And I've watched him now for 2 seasons. I don't get the attraction. I do not get the attraction. I don't get it. And I'm sorry. And that's nothing against him. Look it, that is nothing against him, but I do not see anything. I don't see what we see in JD Bertrand. I don't. On blitz, on a blitzing down, he collided with somebody and allowed Mac Jones to get out like he just looked awkward out there. Runs, he gets caught up in blockers. He's not the biggest line. He just looked like a third stringer. And again, I mean no disrespect to him, but he's not Diablo. And as soon as he came out of that game, you could see it. You could see their strategy changed to, we're going to run the ball down their throats. And maybe they had already intended on doing that, but they kicked that in the hyperdrive when Diablo went out. So if he's going to be out for a prolonged period of time, now we got to look at getting a linebacker. So now we might have to look at getting a linebacker and getting a receiver if they're available. But we got to, we can't have another repeat of what we saw tonight. So, got to do something about that. So let's look at the impact of the loss and what it means for our Falcons going forward. Falcons dropped to 3-3. We are now 500. I believe Carolina won today, which means we are in 3rd place in the division. Although, again, there's a lot of season to go, so don't panic. It is a long season. And if we are consistent, if we continue to go out there and do what we need to do, I think good things will happen. Offense has been inconsistent on the road, and that's true. That's true. Excuse me, guys. I'm so sorry. It's been a long day. Defense fades late. I'm not going to say that. Look, you keep any defense out there for 32, 34, 35 minutes, they're going to get tired. And look it. If not for that blown call, like if they rush Mac Jones there, and you hold them to a field goal, it's a different game. It's a different game. So I'm not going to say the defense faded late. It's just kind of one of those things that happen. Penix showed growth but needs protection. He does, and I think Penix may have been hurt on that last down, on that last series. Our protection was not great. It was not great at all. Again, they did to us what we do to most teams. So, and why we did not blitz Mac Jones on that 3rd down when they are in our, essentially in our red zone and it's 3rd. And if we stop them, they kick a field goal and it's still within 7 points or 1 possession. I don't know why you drop back there. Like, you've been getting pressure on them all game. I don't know why you do that. But, it is what it is. That's what they did. And, we are where we are. Raheem Morris's team is learning resilience. I think they are. But again, tonight, I really feel like we got outcoached. Tonight it just feels like we got outcoached. So it's unfortunate, but it happens. Hopefully we will learn from this as a team and be better going forward. Hopefully we can look at the film on Monday, see what we did wrong, and build off of that. We got to get ready for the Dolphins coming into town, and let's see if we can go 4-3 and get back on the winning side of things. Comparison to week 6 versus the Bills. Week 6, we had 443 yards. Tonight, 303. 193 rushing yards. Wow, compared to 62. We forced 2 turnovers. Compared to tonight, we forced 1. We allowed 2 sacks, and I believe we got 4 or more. No, we allowed 2 sacks that night, and then we allowed 3 sacks tonight. And we scored 24 points that night, and tonight we scored 10. So offensively, we've got to be better. You know what I mean? Some may classify this as an embarrassing loss to a 49ers team that has been riddled with injury. And that's fair. But it just goes to show, guys, that's why they play the game. Because you never know. You never know. Any given team can beat you on any given Sunday, and we see that proven over and over and over and over again. And it holds true. It's an old maxim, but it holds true. Any given team can beat you on any given Sunday. Or another way of saying it, the other team gets paid too. So, I hate it, but, it's just the way it is, so to speak. As we don't have an audience tonight, or at least anyone making comments that I can see, we're going to go ahead and go to the shout out section and look at. I know it's late, guys, so I'm not going to belabor this. It's 1:00 in the morning, and I know a lot of us have to get up and go to work tomorrow. So to those of you brave souls who did join me for this late post-game edition, I am so appreciative. I cannot thank you enough. You bold and brave and resilient souls, you, thank you. Hopefully the Falcons will reward you next week with a victory. But to those who did show up, I can see that you did. Let's see. Carlo, I just see a chat from you. You just got in there, Carlo. Carlo says, bruh, I don't like laying down like this, shaking my head. Yeah, me neither, Carlo. Yeah, it's tough. But you know what? It's a part of the NFL, man. It's a way of life. It's what we do. And, we got to take it, good or bad, right or wrong. We got to take it, and tonight we took the L. So we got to sleep fast and get ready for next week. Dolphins come into town. We should be able to defeat them, hopefully. And then I think we got to get ready and go to Berlin to play the Colts. So, hey, it doesn't get any easier, guys. We got to get out there. Nobody's going to feel sorry for us. And, yeah, man, we got to get back in the winning column. But, again, Carlo, tonight, man, we just got out-coached. Bottom line, we couldn't execute when we needed. And, I fully believe we got out-coached. And they had a little bit of luck in that Diablo went down. Because if Diablo doesn't go down, I think that's a different game. Matter of fact, I'm going to go on record and say that if Diablo doesn't go down, we probably win that game because Bertrand just looked, I mean, the difference between he and Diablo is night and day. Okay. Bertrand made me miss Troy Anderson, I don't know, but we need to, heaven help us if Diablo is out for any prolonged period of time. Hopefully he is not, but if he is, we're going to need to trade for a linebacker. We're going to need something other than what we have in Bertrand because I'm not a fan. No disrespect to him, But there's a clear and distinct drop off, when it comes to him, and it is what it is. Again, I know he's young, I know he's out there, but this team is playing to win a division, and we just can't have that much of a drop off in play at the linebacker position when somebody goes out. You just can't have that. We got Will the Thrill in the chat. What up, T. Will? What's up, chat? Not good enough. Lack of adjustment, lack of prep, and a lack of will. I agree with that 100%, Will. Definite lack of prep, definite lack of will, definite lack of just about everything, my friend. It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad indeed. Like I just, wow. I don't know, man. I don't have anything to say. Like it's just, it was a bad. It was a bad result. It wasn't a bad. I'm not going to criticize the defense because they hung in there as long as they could. But that offensive effort was just bad. Will says, heavy is the head that wears the crown for Coach Heem, but leaders got to lead. Agreed 100%, man. Several calls I would have kicked the field goal. In the second half, I definitely would have gone for look, it's 51-yard kick. If you kick it there, the game's tied. And I felt like when you didn't get that fourth down, it just felt like, okay, the game's over. Because the momentum swung their way and they came down and they scored and we couldn't stop them. And it's just bad, man. It's I don't know what to tell you. Carlos says Raheem looked like the moment was too big. I don't necessarily disagree with that. I just think that I mean, look, we couldn't stop the run. We couldn't stop the run. And I legitimately feel like if Diablo was in the game, that's a different result. But the problem with that is you can't have that big of a drop off when a linebacker comes in. And to me, that's coaching. That's coaching. You cannot have the drop off that we had when Bertrand came in the game. You just can't. So, because again, 49ers had the same problem with Fred Warner. The guy they had backing him up was outstanding tonight. Okay. Bertrand was not, and this guy was third string. Bertrand was not. So, again, that's coaching. That's coaching. And I'm not saying that everybody's going to be Diablo. Diablo has been outstanding. He's been wonderful. He's been outstanding. He's been superb. He's been supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. He's been all of those adjectives. But bottom line, when he goes out, you just can't have Bertrand in there, man. And I agree. He did tackle his own guy a couple of times. Carlos says it's like someone trying to be brave in a fight they were scared of from the beginning. Agreed. Carlos says Bertrand was tackling his own guy. He did on that pass rush situation. He looked like the Keystone Cops out there, man. And again, no disrespect to him. Look, he plays the game. I don't. I in this point in my life, could never play football. So I respect that, but it was just such a drop-off, and you can't have that. You cannot have that at that position. Like you're going from an A+ to, I'll be kind, a C- of an extreme C-. Will the Thrill says, yeah, the mentality is great, but facts are facts. Linebacker wise, we cannot cover. Well, no, he can't. I mean, I don't honestly, I'm just not a fan of Bertrand. I don't see, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. He got caught up in blocks in the run game. He got thrown around a couple of times. Like there was just a drop off, right? And the 49ers, good for them, they were able to take advantage. So just not a good look, guys. Not a good look. Oh boy. Oh, so sorry, guys. Not a good look at all. Just bad. Just bad. Just bad. But anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I am so sleepy, and I got to get up and go to work in the morning. To everybody who joined, we thank you. We appreciate you. Definitely enjoyed fellowshipping with you. Wish it would have been under better circumstances, i.e. a Falcons win. But hey, rain, sleet, or shine, your boy T. Will and For My ATL Sports 1 is going to be here for you to talk about it. And that's what we did tonight. And we will also do that all during the week in regards to the Falcons loss and getting ready for our next opponent, the Miami Dolphins. So again, to those of you who joined in the chat, Carlo, Will the Thrill, definitely appreciate you guys joining. Hope you guys have an amazing day tomorrow. And hey, man, if you get a chance, like, share, and subscribe. Will the Thrill says, finally get the chance to check in with y'all. Nice to meet you at last. He will. Hey, Will the Thrill, nice to meet you as well, sir. Very nice to meet you as well. And thank you for joining us. And hey, man, if you are so inclined, please like, share, and subscribe. But it was a pleasure. I wish we had more time, Will. But man, I'm about to fall over on this keyboard right here. So I'm going to let you go. But hey, man, you guys have an amazing week. And thank God for sending you guys in my path. Thank God for waking me up today. And thank God for Mr. Jack Spade and Eric Parker for giving me the chance to, do this podcasting and join the show and get my start with them. So appreciate you guys again. Hey, man, so thankful to God for this opportunity. And hopefully we will be better next week. You guys have an amazing day. Have a great week. And yeah, we will see you when we see you. Go Falcons, rise up. And hey, man, God bless y'all. Good night. Let me tell you something. Look it, man. I've been an Atlanta fan for 45 years.
Turning up the heat, T. Will on the mic, can't accept defeat. My ATL Sports Show, he's running the game. Atlanta Falcons fly high, you know the name. In the heart of the A, where the pride runs deep. From the Braves to the Falcons, he's keeping it real, no sleep. He's got the scoop, every player, every play. Bringing the thunder every single day.